Hello, welcome back to my channel, Divine Libra Wisdom. I'm back again with a pick-a pile reading. This is going to be for the full blue moon in Sagittarius. Before I get into what the blue moon is about and what it means for it to be in Sagittarius for the collective, I'm going to get all my disclaimers and things out of the way first. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, I thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you'll stick around. If you're returning to the channel, I greatly appreciate that. Hopefully, wherever you fit, hopefully you will consider subscribing to the channel so that way you know when I drop new videos. Okay. The decks that I'm using, or before I get to that, you know, as you listen along, make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section if you feel comfortable sharing how the video resonated. If not, you can just, you know, leave an emoji or just something that lets me know that you are enjoying the video. You know, share the video out if you know someone who enjoys tarot and oracle card readings, and subscribe. The decks that I'm using, that will be in the description box below, as well as how to book a personal reading with me if you like to do that. I will never reach out to solicit you to do a reading for you for free. Yeah, so don't get got. The noise should be kept to a minimum, but I may turn on the fan because it's like 90 something degrees here where I am, and yeah, it still gets hot even with the AC on. So and it just popped, or it just clicked on just now, but so you may hear that in the background. I don't know, but yeah, if it's still, you know, hot, the fan next to me will come on. So, you know, just bear that in mind, but it shouldn't be that loud. I've tested it before, so I just did not want that added sound in the background, if that makes sense. So yeah. So let's go ahead and get into what this full blue moon is about. What is a blue moon? So blue moon is like a rare occurrence, and this happens when there's a second full moon within a month, and so therefore, you know, that saying once in a blue moon. So yeah, you know, we have a blue moon this month. And basically this signifies a need to release, to review, you know, to go back and think about things, maybe going back and looking over plans, making sure, you know, things are on the up and up, things of that nature. This is also a good time to speak your mind, speak your truth, you know, tap into the divine feminine. You know, anything that, you know, has to do with that. And when I think about the divine feminine, it's like our wisdom, you know, strength, but also our softness, you know what I mean? Feeling good about yourself, getting in front of a mirror, speaking positively over yourself, over your body, speaking directly to your body, and speaking positive things over it, eating healthfully, eating, you know, drinking as well healthfully, you know, or just being mindful of what it is that you are putting in your body. Like, there's nothing wrong, I don't feel, to indulge here and there, but at the same time, it's, you know, good to be mindful of making sure you have your water intake, making sure, you know, you're getting your daily, you know, vitamins in, fruits, veggies, that type of thing. Okay. Yeah, and specifically though, making sure you tapping into your wisdom, making sure you are trusting your intuition. I think that's a big thing, especially when we have any type of moon phase going on. You know, we're divine feminine is very in tune with their feelings, with their knowledge, their wisdom, so on and so forth. Okay. And this is, you know, lastly, this is kind of like one of those things, because it's like a, you know, a second full moon. It's like a second chance at things, another go at something. So, you know, you could find maybe people are returning to your life, especially, you know, past exes. Maybe you're trying to, you know, spin the block. Friends are trying to spin the block. you know, that you may have, excuse me, that you may have had a falling out with. You know, it can be any type of thing. It can be any scenario. So just, you know, apply it to where it applies for you. But you don't have to, you know, not saying that you should entertain anybody that's trying to return back into your life. You know, it's just one of those things that you may notice that. But if you are interested in pursuing something else with someone who is returning to your life, that is totally up to you. I would just say use your discernment, and just, you know, just figure out if that's what you want. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't have to go. You know, you don't have to be overly going. So with it being in Sagittarius, and this 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 theme around traveling, and this is before I knew we had a blue moon, but I didn't know it was in Sagittarius. So this is all about, Sagittarius represents Temperance card in in tarot. And what was I going to say? This is all about like philosophy, higher learning, travel. And I feel like Sagittarius, I feel like they're kind of like the athletes of the zodiac. So yeah, so you know, there could be things surrounding that, health, fitness, things of that nature. So, you know, maybe part of your, you know, rethinking things, going back over plans, it could be like, you know, restructuring or redoing your like your fitness routine, or, you know, meal plans, stuff like that. And I feel like, you know, the sixth house could be significant, even though Sagittarius, it doesn't represent the sixth house necessarily, but to me that's coming out because it came out in one of my weekly check-in readings for I can't remember exactly which sign it was for, but it came out. So for some of you, you know, there could be like a review of your daily habits, your daily routine. You know, just, you know, workplace may be significant. You may have new epiphanies around philosophies and things that you believe. Higher learning, you may be, you know, wanting to go study something new, learn new things, stuff like that. Okay. So with all that out of the way, you know, you can think about how the blue moon may be impacting you, especially for today. I believe it started at 4:44 a.m. So 4:44. I don't know how I can say that at first. A.m. And I think by this time it should be at its full peak, if you will, and it'll be out. You know, if you know you don't have any storms rolling through your area, maybe you will be able to see it. So yeah, I know a lot of people could see it earlier this night. So yeah, or last night rather, early this morning. So yeah, I mean, it should be, you know, full and bright out there tonight. Hopefully where you are, you'll have clear skies and you'll be able to see it. I do plan on going outside where I am and seeing if I can partake and see it, get a bit of that moon energy right to me, but I still feel it nonetheless, even if I don't see it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the piles. You should have chosen from, you know, major selection, but you don't have to just settle on one. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, all piles, whatever, go with your gut, go with what you feel. But yeah, it's pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Okay, and like I said, the decks that I'm using, they will be in the description box below. I am using one new deck, so you may see me read from the guidebook for that. I just like to get the person who created the deck, I like to get their perspective, but I am going to go with what I feel is coming out in the cards, and we're gonna go from there. And I can't reiterate enough, if it doesn't apply, then let it fly, okay? You know, because some people, people think that with pick a pile reading, with readings in general, it's just to confirm what you already know to be true. Okay, It's just to confirm that what your intuition already knows. So, you know, if something doesn't fit, then it doesn't have to fit. You're the author of your own story. So don't take, you know, anything literal that you know, don't resonate with, you don't like, and you don't want for yourself. Okay? All right. So got that out the way. Let's go ahead and get into the pile number 1. And like I said, if you feel drawn to more than one pile, then yeah, you know, follow your gut. Okay. And get these cards out here. And if I feel like I need to pull additional cards from the different decks, I will. After we go through the cards, I will have your affirmation for pile. I mean, not for each pile. And let me just grab this, because I will be reading from this book here. Okay. Let me check out these cards, because I'm already getting things. Okay, pile number 1, I feel like for this blue moon, well, first let's just see what the card is saying, or let's get your numbers, and I'm so sorry, excuse me, y'all, and any signs you may be dealing with. So you have the numbers that could be significant for you right now is 7, 1, 4, and 4. So you have 4 2 times. So 4, any variation of 4, 44, that type of thing. I don't see any signs sticking out. But I will say, whenever I see the figure, or what is that thing called? The loop here. It looks like a sideways number 8. It makes me think of Scorpio for some reason. So I don't know. The infinity symbol, where it's on the side, number 8 on the side, and it's the loop. Yeah. I think that's what it is called, the infinity symbol or infinity sign. So yeah, it makes me think of Scorpio all the time, because it's like the continuation, or the, never mind. I don't know, some things I kind of just associate with people or signs. One person that I used to know, he really enjoyed the infinity symbol. So whenever I see it, not only does it make me think of like the Magician card, but also Scorpio. It makes me think of them. So yeah, anyway, so you could be dealing with a Scorpio. You could have that in your chart, so on and so forth. Okay, so you have 7 of Summer. This is the first card that came out, your tarot. And it says, no more procrastinating. Your power comes from making a decision. Confusion that arises from overanalyzing the options. All right, so for those of you who chose pile number 1, you all are kind of going through a situation where it could have been that you could feel overwhelmed with having to make a decision. And so you're kind of constantly going back and forth. And procrastination came out a lot in my weekly readings. And I do that for Taurus, Cancer, and Libra. I believe that was mainly for Libras, though, the procrastinating thing, because Libras can't procrastinate because they weigh all options. So some of you could be Libras viewing this, or you may have it in your chart. But either way, if you are kind of overwhelmed with trying to make a choice about something, or a decision about something, I'm sorry, you know, a good thing to do is to weigh your options, but don't get stuck there to the point where, you know, you're over analyzing everything and you're not making a decision. So it's good to, you know, get a clear vision of what it is that you're trying to do, you know, figure out. So first identify the problem, kind of like math, you know, identify the problem, see what you need to solve for, you know, work the problem out and get the answer, right? So, and of course, I think it's more elements to that, but I'm not a math buff, but it just made me think of a math problem, having to like think about things. So yeah, like once you make your decision, you know what I'm saying, that is going to propel you where you want to be. So make sure you're not over analyzing to the point where you just completely give up and you're just like, okay, well, I won't make a decision at all. And so that's where you get stuck at, when you just, you know, you refuse to make a decision. And that is what keeps you stuck, and you're not progressing, you're not doing anything. You're just still stuck in a cycle or a loop or an endless loop. So you have to break that endless loop, right? Okay. So sorry, y'all, my ear was itching. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to the next card here. And so the next card here is conclusions are within reach. This is full moon eclipse. So yeah, you know, once you make that decision, once you figure out, you know, where you weigh your pros and cons, you're able to, you know, move forward, progress. So, yeah, make sure you're seeing things clearly, but also, and I say this all the time, like, I'm a person that loves lists. I love lists. I love writing things out. It helps me to process all the thoughts that are going on inside my mind. But yeah, when you get that chance to write things out, it helps you to make sense of things. It helps you to gain clarity on stuff, because sometimes you can think something is a whole problem when it's really not. Like, it's an easy solve for it. It's an easy solution for it. So all that it takes is just taking that time out to figure out what it is that you want, what you really want to do. Like, what is the best case scenario for you? You know, what is the outcome that you want to happen? You know what I'm saying? Don't focus solely on what could go wrong. You know, just focus on what could go right. So yeah, that's what you gotta do. So okay, the next card you have out is knowing, and this is take the first step. And what did I say? What I've been saying, literally, you all are kind of, this pile number one, you all are in the beginning stages of things. But I feel like deep down, a lot of you already know what it is that you want, to do. And you just need to, some of you may just need that gentle push to, you know, get a clear vision or clear plan, clear vision of what it is that you're trying to do. Because this makes me think of a lot of thoughts in the mind, a lot of, you know, being overwhelmed, over analyzing options that you have, all these options. And it's kind of like, yeah, I need to get a sense of exactly what it is I'm trying to do. And once you have that foundation, you can take the first step. You can take a leap of faith, and know that you will land on your feet. You know, it's just kind of like, you know, deciding and moving forward is the first is the process, the first step. So yeah, take the first step, take a leap of faith, you know, leave all this, all your thoughts, not necessarily behind, but just write them out. So that way, you know, exactly, you can kind of compartmentalize and analyze more clearly, you know, everything that's going on. Okay. So this is the new card deck that I have, and it's so pretty. I like the background, or the back. It also has a moon there. Or is that a sun? I'm not sure, but it looks like a moon to me, but I don't know. Anyway, so the card that came out is Persephone. This may be a patron, a deity, or something like that. that means something to you or is significant for you. But anyway, it says youth, innocence, rebirth. I'm very drawn to the rebirth. And that's how it looks, the card. You can't really see the words on it, but yeah. And this is the number 4. But rebirth is what is standing out to me the most. I feel as though you all could, like, my pile number 1s, I feel like you all are going through like a transformation, a rebirth. So this could be a time where some of you may have already kind of went through that whole spiel or the whole thing of writing out plans, deciding, doing all the things, and then now you're in this state of rebirth and you're kind of like starting from scratch, possibly, and you're rebuilding your life back up, like you're rebuilding yourself and getting back to where you once were. All right, so I'm going to read a little, I'm going to read a little bit about Persephone. Give a little backstory on her, but Persephone is the ancient Greek maiden goddess of spring and the daughter of Zeus and Demeter, or Demeter, however you want to say it. I heard it said two different ways. But anyway, while out picking flowers one day, the god of the underworld, Hades, was so taken by Persephone's beauty that he kidnapped her and took her to his home. Persephone's mother, Demeter, was so stricken with grief, which created the first winter, that she walked the earth looking for her daughter. Persephone wanted to return with her mother, but as she had eaten seeds from a pomegranate Hades had given her, she had unknowingly tied herself to Hades forever and had to spend 4 months of every year in the underworld. All right, so and it goes on to talk a lot more about it. So it says the oracle, what others have done to you is their karma, not yours. It is time to move from being a victim to being the queen of your own life. And they give like what this can mean about love, prosperity, purpose, healing, creativity, magic. I feel like this. I'm not going to read every single thing, but what is standing out from the guidebook's description, I'm looking at purpose, and it says, and I'll read what purpose it says. It says your purpose is to help guide and support others who are going through what you once went through. Share your experiences and light the way for others. Also, you can call on Persephone for assistance with freeing yourself, moving out of victim mode, making the most of a tough situation, embracing your beauty, and setting up boundaries. Okay, so, and it's funny, I'm looking at your affirmation card and it says forgive but don't forget. So, it could be a situation for a handful of you, or in the entire collective. There could have been something that a lot of you, went through. Could have been small or big, depending on what the situation was or is. Where you may have been taken advantage of, you may have been slighted, and it could be something where you didn't necessarily outright acknowledge it at first. You kind of just let it kind of roll off your back kind of way, in a way, kind of. And I mentioned this earlier, this analogy of letting water roll off your back like a duck. You could have let it just kind of roll off your shoulders, but it still impacted you, like it still hurt you, you know what I'm saying, in a way. Hopefully not in a physical way. I definitely don't want that or anything like that, but nonetheless, you are a survivor, and so you don't have to be in this sort of like victimhood state or victim mindset. And that's not to say, that, see, here's the thing, I do think some people can play victim and be stuck in a victim mindset, but that doesn't change the fact that you could have once been a victim or a victim to someone's BS, you know, and it's very valid. Like your feelings behind certain things that, you know, happen to you, especially if you've been slighted, or, you know, somebody was, you know, unfortunately, and heaven forbid, violent with you, or they were abusive in any shape, way, or form. Is, you know, is the way that you feel about it is valid, if that makes sense. Hopefully I'm making sense. But what's happening here with Persephone coming out is that maybe some of you, you may still be kind of in that mindset, and Persephone is kind of like asking you to get out of that. Like you're not a victim, as far as like you're not, you know, you're not weak, there's nothing wrong with you because something or a certain something happened to you, right? You know, that person that did that to you is the weak one. Okay, so you're strong because, for one, you survived, and number two, you can pick up the pieces and move forward. You know what I'm saying? And just because you never said anything, you didn't address it, or even if you did, you know, you did have a chance to forgive that person. It's not like you forgot. You just know where to put that person to, you know, distance yourself from that person and never speak to them again. You know, you forgive others for the things that they do for yourself, not for them, just for you to have peace of mind. But, you know, you don't forget it. So that means, you know, if this is a situation where perhaps an ex or an ex-friend or whatever is trying to come back into your life, you say no. You say no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any hard feelings towards you. I don't have any ill will for you. I just don't want to deal with you. Yeah, so don't, you know, because I'm seeing like someone trying to hit someone up, someone, you know, asking, maybe somebody like an ex trying to ask you out on a date, and they're acting as if, you know, nothing happened, nothing transpired. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And that's the type of thing that like will piss me off. You know, it's like somebody trying to come back in and trying to be like in your good graces when they know things didn't necessarily end on good terms, and they're kind of acting like nothing happened, nothing transpired, and you're just like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? So yeah. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. So yeah, hold firm to your boundaries. Don't let anyone come back in to your life that had, you know, mismanaged you, mistreated you. Don't do that. Okay. Unless you feel as though they are changed, and they've proven that to you, or, you know, prove that to you. Yeah. But other than that, otherwise, I would not trust anyone trying to come back into my life who, you know, seemingly took pride in mistreating me. Okay? Yeah. All right. And the last card that you have out is Opportunity Beckons. This is number 4 as well. And of course, you have this the infinity symbol right there. I see, and this is a lot of, to me, these two cards, as well as this one up here, it's kind of like shining a light, shining a rainbow light, but shining a light though, casting a light, whatever you want to say it. But it's kind of like, okay, let's just do this. I feel like this is a form, the 7 of summer up here is a form of like contemplation, but also, especially this card here, this knowing card, as well as this Opportunity Beckons. You see the figure in here, the guy kind of looking out and down, possibly like down on the city below, and just kind of looking at things in deep contemplation, and just thinking about, you know, what it is that they're wanting to do next is what I'm getting. But you do want to break the loop though of the same cycles. You don't want to repeat cycles, especially cycles that kept you stuck or keep you stuck. You don't want to do that. So with opportunity beckons, I feel like new opportunities for growth, new opportunities for, whatever, in whichever way, shape, or form that it, is impacting you right now, they're coming through. So the best thing to do, especially if it ties to making a decision, is to decide what it is that you want to do, hands down. And go ahead and seize the opportunities. Like, especially, this is all about, like I mentioned before, this is second chances here. So with second chances, seize the opportunity. Don't let the opportunity slip through your fingers. Basically, you have a chance to do things differently now. I can't even talk. Differently now. So go ahead and do that. Okay, don't let anything slip through your fingers, is what I'm getting. All right, and lastly, and we'll wrap up pile number 1. Your affirmation is forgive, but don't forget. Learn the lesson and move accordingly. And yes, it's backwards, so you can't really see it, but and I'll say it again. It is forgive, but don't forget. Learn the lesson and move forward accordingly. Okay? So pile number 1, that was your reading. I hope that it resonated with you. Hopefully I made sense. Because when I get to yapping, I yap. But that's how I get into a flow state and things just start kind of coming out. So yeah. Hopefully you have a good rest of your weekend. Or at least your Sunday, at least, because the weekend is pretty much over. But hopefully you have a good rest of your Sunday and you have a great week going into this week. And I will see you next time for another pick a pile reading, or if you happen to be a Libra, Taurus, or Cancer, you will see weekly check-in readings for you. But I will be putting for all 12 signs, I will be doing a check-in with just one tarot, one oracle card message, and that will be found under the community tab. So that will be going up. That will be available under the community tab later on today, or later on this evening. It will be under the community tab, so look for that. All right, so thank you so much, and we're going to go on to pile number 2. Okay, pile number 2. We're starting here with you, and let's go ahead and get the cards out here. Like I mentioned before in pile number 1, if I feel like I need to pull some additional cards for my pile number 2s, I will. But funny enough, you got hold on one second. Just making sure. Okay, yeah. I got kind of sidetracked. Okay, you have 2 tarot cards that came out for you. I just remembered that you all had 2 cards that came out. So let me just kind of look at these cards and see what's going on here. For one thing, you got 2 major arcanas that came out. You have quite a bit of numbers, repeating numbers too at that, that it's come out for you. So let's go ahead and let me see if there are let me see 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just double checking some things real quick and just making sure I have my stuff together. I just like to double check and make sure I'm on the same page, because there's so much information when you're doing tarot as well as oracle cards. There's so many symbols and things, and sometimes you can get your wires crossed when it happens. But I like to double check just to check myself. Okay. But before we get into the reading, I'm going to give you the numbers that are significant for you, as well as who you're dealing with, because you have, like I said, you have repeating numbers coming out. So you have 3 and 34. So, double 3. Again, that was 3 and 34. You have number 5s. That came out twice. You have number 1. Okay. Signs that you could be dealing with: the Empress. That could be either Libra or Taurus. And let's see, Unity. This could be this is the Hierophant card. So you could be dealing with shoot, what was that? Right, you could be this is Taurus as well. And so the Hierophant, this is like your values, your duality, balance, possessions. The Empress, this is kind of like, how would I say this? This is all about like knowledge, or not knowledge, I'm sorry. This is all about, balance or creativity, growth. And with it being like Taurus and Libra, this is very like Venus ruled energy. So beauty, and you have Aphrodite out here, so that's pretty funny. But like romance, comfort, indulgence. So but also with the Empress, I think about luxury, and you do have luxury down there. But the Empress, I just think of someone just very much into, like, they know who they are, and they're very like not overbearing with their power, but they know their power, they know their worth. Okay, so that could be the energy that you need to embody for this blue moon. There, stuff around your appearance could be significant for you as well, when you think about like Libra and Taurus, as well as like beauty. I have to wash my hair today, so that's kind of a part of my beauty thing, so that I'm doing. So yeah, that could be significant for you. Anyway, so again, Libra, Taurus, Taurus again, very like Venus centered energy here. Okay, so sorry for kind of struggling with it. With that, I kind of got, yeah. Anyway, okay, tongue-tied. That's the word. Okay, so the first card that came out, and like I said, you got two. I could be Libra and Taurus. Could be who I'm talking to, the majority of who is in this pile. So yeah. So the Empress card is what came out. It says time to take action, the power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. So for this blue moon, I feel like you're very much in touch with your creativity. Some of you could be, creating something. You could be doing what I'm doing right now. I'm a Libra and I have a rising sign in Taurus. So, so this is very much speaking to me personally. But nonetheless, creating videos. You could be on social media, so you could be doing, videos. You could be creating content in the form of writing it out. Maybe you publish articles. Maybe you do a blog post, especially like on Substack, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Or just simply creating works of art. Or there could be a feeling of wanting to create more, and finding time to do that. So, today is as good as any day, as long as you, allot some time or set some time aside to, do that. Get in your creativity mode and, put something out there that can inspire others. You know what I mean? So that could be the thing that gets you that life of luxury that you're after. Because Libra and Taurus, they love themselves some luxe things. Okay. And I can speak personally about that. I love it, but I think I'm more so, I like a nice aesthetic, and comfort, but it don't have to be like overly expensive. I just like nice things. Like, I just like to be in a nice environment. So, if that's what your concern is around this time, what are you doing to actively work towards that? What are you, what are your plans? What are you thinking about how to get there to that point? So, this blue moon, it's definitely about speaking your mind, speaking your truth, tapping into your divine feminine, and, kind of making a decision, making sure you're rehashing things, any type of plans, like any plans that you have, because what I'm seeing is, because I'm focused on this success that allows for a life of luxury. So, and time to take action. So there's some things that you should be, you could be needing to take action on, and you just need to go for it, especially if who I'm talking to are people who I'm stumbling over my words. I talk so fast. If you are someone who creates content, just do the thing. Like, just submit the thing, do all the things, like do what your heart tells you as far as like what it is that you want to create. Put it out there. Somebody is going to gravitate towards it. Somebody's going to like it. Somebody's going to love it. And somebody, that could lead to people wanting to work with you directly. So, and I think we all do, especially those who create things, whether you be an artist who paints, draws, anything that you create, you're always going to be slightly critical or slightly more critical about yourself than others. Just do it anyway. Do it for the fun. Do it for the plot. You know what I'm saying? And this person, like, look at this, like the Empress, just look at the look on her face, like, just blissful. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Just do the thing. So, yeah. Okay. So, the next card we have out is Unity, and this is number 5. It says, do the right thing for the right reasons. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you, a spiritually minded community. Okay. So what could be happening also for some of you in this pile, you could be like, with Unity, you could be finding your tribe or feel like you found your tribe with the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. These could be like new friends that are coming in. Maybe you're, joining new groups, meeting new people, a new significant other. whatever the case, you're feeling as though you finally found, you know, your match. You know what I mean? And so if that is the case for you, I say, look, I say go for it. Like, you know, yeah, you know, be open. I feel like I'm hearing the word open-mindedness. So, you know, be open-minded, as far as, you know, things may not always be what they seem or appear what they seem. So, you know, don't be so quick to judge a book by its cover, or a person by, you know, how they look, or, you know, what they're wearing, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people can be they can be kind of judgmental, you know what I mean, with first impressions of a person. But what needs to happen is that you have to, you know, get to know the person, like, before you formulate an opinion. You know what I mean? Actually talk to them and see what they're about. And you won't know every single thing about that person, and, you know, you won't see their true colors there. But at the same time, it's just like, give somebody a chance, like, give things a chance, you know, and, you know, go slow. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to rush anything, which I had to tell myself just now, from speed talking. Sometimes it can be kind of hard, because that's my natural cadence. Even though I can be kind of soft spoken and laid back, when I get to talking, I talk really fast. So, or at least that's what I've been told. So, and don't let me be in a flow state, because stuff will just come out. But anyway, let's keep moving forward. It says step out of your comfort zone, North Node. Yeah. So again, this could be like you meeting new people or putting yourself out there, especially anything like you're creating. You know, if say for instance, you're writing a story, maybe you let, you know, some of your friends or, you know, colleagues or whatever read some of it, so they can give you honest feedback, like honest, constructive criticism. Okay. And that, you know, it can kind of help you, going forward with writing your story. Same thing for anything, like any type of project or anything that you're working on. Having a second pair of eyes, maybe 3 or 4 pairs of eyes, can help you kind of gain perspective, before you put anything out there. That way, you know the impressions what it is that you're, impressions of it. So that way you can kind of, go back, rework certain things, and, make sense of it. Because sometimes, especially with writing, there can be things that you miss, only because you're so close to it, you're creating it. So, there may be something where you miss it and somebody else reads it and they're just like, oh, what about this? Or, hey, I don't know if you noticed this, but you're missing, there's kind of like a plot hole here. Or, a hole in the plot or something like that. So, yeah, think about maybe sharing your work with people that you trusted people, of course, and see what they think. And they can give you feedback, and, you either take it or not. But, as long as you, like I said, make sure they're trusted individuals. So you don't have to worry about them stealing your ideas, or, or crapping on you. Because somebody like crapping on what it is that you presented or what you're doing. But then, somewhere down the line, maybe like a few weeks down the line or next month, you see them doing the same exact thing that you were doing. And they're trying to pass it off as your idea. So, yeah, just be mindful of who you're sharing your work with, who you're sharing things with. Make sure they are trusted individuals, and they act and lead a life of integrity. Okay. All right. Now you do have a card out here that says the Witch Hunter, danger, number 34. Beware the Witch Hunter. And this is how the card looks. Honestly, I feel as though, and I may get another card here, because this kind of makes me think of like a hunter or somebody that, like a witch hunter. Honestly, I feel as though I don't necessarily get the sense that anybody is in danger. Let me just say that. But yeah, I'm just gonna pull another card for this one just to clarify this one. But I am going to talk about number 34, the witch hunter. So honestly, I feel like this is more so like a caution, not necessarily like you're in danger of something. But, you know, just be mindful of your surroundings though. You know, keep your head on the swivel. Don't, you know, be distracted like with headphones in your ear, especially if you're walking around, anywhere you're on public transit, you know, at night, if you get off work late, you know, make sure you're checking your surroundings. You have, you know, stuff to protect yourself, whether that be like mace or like a weapon of some sort or whatever. Just make sure you're protecting yourself at all times. With your front door, I've seen people leave their key inside the door of their apartment building. Make sure make sure, especially if you have like a lot of stuff that you're carrying, go inside your place, sit that stuff, like just let it fall right there, and make sure you got your key out of the door. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, especially because I'm also saying this, if you are going to you're going to your car, or if you're going to your apartment door, make sure nobody is following you too. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're not being followed. You know, make sure you have your key already ready. You know what I'm saying? To put in your door, unlock that mug, get your key, and lock the door and make sure it's locked. Okay? These are, you know, pretty like normal, you know, self-explanatory things, but sometimes we may not necessarily think about those things. You know what I mean? But just make sure that you are keeping your head on a swivel. But like I said, I don't, even though we have the witch hunter as well as challenging times down here, I don't feel as though this is one of those things where it's like, oh my God, you're in danger, be afraid. No. What I feel as though is just be mindful of things. Like, just, protect yourself in that way. Like, don't just take things for face value. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you have your head on a swivel at all times, because we do live in some challenging times. Literally, we live in some challenging times. Things have been happening, especially to women, especially Black women. I'm a Black woman, so of course I'm going to platform that and make sure I say things. But our femicide rate is at an extreme high. Women are being attacked. Women are being poked up and unaliving, being pew-pewed, so on and so forth. So be mindful, okay? Be mindful. Take care of yourself. Protect yourself, okay? Seriously. But, and again, I don't want to fearmonger or do anything like that. But just be careful and be mindful, okay? But I also think this is also just kind of making yourself, like shielding yourself, because you do have a shield right here. But it's like kind of shielding yourself, making sure that you stay prayed up on a spiritual level. Say prayers over yourself. Speak positively over yourself, like I mentioned earlier. Hold on. I'm getting some channel stuff is like coming at me a mile a minute. Because with these two cards here, like you could be the one, like you could be the one challenging yourself in a way, like, or a detriment to yourself as far as like how you speak to yourself, how you treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned self-love is down here with Aphrodite out here, and it's like I mentioned earlier when I was talking about what the blue moon entails, getting in front of a mirror especially if you're someone who has issues surrounding that. You have certain triggers, or, you know, when you get in front of a mirror and you're kind of like looking away, you're not looking directly at yourself, spend some time and just do it little by little. You know what I mean? And think about how you speak to yourself in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Is it negative? And if it is, spend some time in front of the mirror and say, you know, pick one or two things that is positive about yourself, and continuously doing that, because self-love is really sticking out to me. So yeah, especially with Aphrodite being out here and beauty being this, you know, being along with this, you know, this also makes me think of like dark mental energy, and it's just kind of like, yeah, we have to eliminate that. Okay. Sorry for getting well, I'm not gonna apologize for being deep. Yeah, I just really feel like, yeah, because like witch hunt, like it could be literally a witch hunt on your own self. You know what I'm saying? The way that you, I'm getting strongly like the way that you talk to yourself and feel about yourself. Let's think positively and speak positively over ourselves. Okay? All right. We're going to keep moving. Moving forward. Okay. So you have number 1, Aphrodite. This is romance, beauty, self-love. And again, you're coming out in the reading. I really feel like strongly the majority of people who chose Pal 2 are Libras and Tauruses, especially with Tauruses coming out 2 times. And Aphrodite being out here is Venus ruled, and so Venus rules Taurus and Libra. All right, so we're gonna read really quickly some of what this guidebook has, because this is the new deck that I'm using, or is a new deck that I'm using. Grab some water real quick. Also Venus and with Aphrodite, make sure you are staying hydrated. If you feel like you need to go by and sit by some water, go do that. Yeah. Even though Aphrodite, she's not a water sign, but Aphrodite, Venus, they sprang from the, I think it's like they sprang from the water. And you know that famous picture where it's like Aphrodite is like in the sea, and she's like in that shell kind of thing. Yeah, I think about that. All right. Okay, so we have Aphrodite, number 1, and this is beauty, romance, self-love. Aphrodite, the ancient Greek goddess of love, romance, pleasure, fertility, and passion, is also known as the Roman goddess Venus. What did I say? Aphrodite was worshipped as a goddess of the sea and seafaring, and it was said that she was born from the sea foam and the waters of Paphos. I believe that's how you say that. So I'm going to, I mean, it goes on and on, but I'm going to, that's what it is. The picture, or the painting picture, whatever, that I think about is the Venus de Milo and Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. That's what I'm thinking of. So yeah, if you need to go sit by water, make sure your water intake is good. You know, just think about that type of thing. But anyway, so the oracle, it says, you are beautiful just as you are in this moment. Y'all, literally, what do I say? If you are someone who is dealing with negative self-talk, and it's kind of like, it's almost like you're hunting yourself, like you're hardest most on yourself. And you know, I think this pile number 2, if some of you in this pile are dealing with that, it would be good for you to get in front of the mirror and just speak positively over yourself. Even if you don't want to get in the mirror, like if you have to ease into that, just sit quietly with yourself and just in your mind or out loud. I prefer out loud, and just say positive things about yourself, you know. But it works 10 times better when you do it in front of a mirror. I promise you. It works for me, and I will always recommend that to somebody who's kind of struggling in that way. Okay. And it says romance yourself. Take yourself out on dates. That's not what this is saying, but you know, with romance yourself, romanticize yourself, meaning do nice things for yourself, you know. Treat yourself like luxury, right? Anything that you want, you know, don't overindulge, but get the things that you love. You love to eat a certain thing. I just did. I got me a seafood boil, and I cannot wait to go eat it. Okay. You know, sweet treat, you know, just buying yourself flowers, like I said, taking yourself on a trip, that you've been always wanted to go on. Anything that romanticizes you, your life, do that. Okay. But yeah, it says romance yourself, embrace your passion, let love lead the way, and embrace your passion. Yeah, and I think I'll go ahead and not read the rest. But anyway, with embracing your passion, I think it goes back to the creativity and, you know, not being afraid to put yourself out there. Allow your light to shine and let yourself be seen. Okay. Especially with Aphrodite being out here, like, come on. With challenging times, we already kind of went through with this card. I think you all need to also set boundaries, but you need to set boundaries with yourself. You all, like I said, you all may have, some of you, I don't feel like this is the entire collective of pile number 2, but some of you may struggle with self-love, and there's a need to set boundaries with your ego, the ego that tries to talk you out of things, that tries to be hard on you. Tap more into your higher self, and quiet the ego, because the ego is always going to try and, you know, keep you behind, keep you stuck. So don't listen to your ego, listen to your higher self. Okay. And I got the confirmation card. I feel like after the challenging times, after you kind of work through a process, whatever that is for you, your dreams are coming true. Okay. And with the affirmation card here, it says, I am evolving. So with these two cards, to me, when I see the galaxy there, like the galaxy is in your hand, you're the like creative or the author of your own story, right? That's what that makes me think of. And I am always evolving. You're always moving forward. You're always progressing. I always think about that. I always remember that. So, yeah, this kind of got heavy, pile number 2, but I think it was necessary. So, you know, hopefully it resonated with those who chose this pile. And my heart goes out to you, especially if you are, if some of you are, you know, dealing with, themes or issues around, self-love, self-acceptance. You know, try and do, the gentle suggestion, even though I'm very preachy, but it's a gentle suggestion. You know, try that out. Try getting in front of the mirror and speaking over yourself positively, and see how you come out, if you haven't done so already. Anyway, without further ado, my mouth is getting dry. I gotta get some more water. But yeah, stay hydrated. Like I said, go sit by water. Sometimes even listening to water sounds, like on YouTube, they have those long compilation videos where they have this, you know, the rain sounds or thunderstorm sounds, that kind of, or ocean sounds, really. I don't know, it's just something very healing and calming about ocean wave sounds to me. Just the water like crashing along the beach, and just the wave sounds, like it's just it's like just chef's kiss. But anyway, if you need to do that, definitely go do that. Okay. Hopefully you all have a good day, rest of your Sunday, that is, and you have a good week. And I will see you next time. And last but certainly not least, we are going to get into pile number 3. I don't know why my nose is getting all stuffy. Let me grab some water. Goodness grief. That's gonna be a long video. Okay. All right. And now we're on pile number 3, last but not least. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, pile number 3. If you chose this pile, you could be a Virgo, or you could be dealing with a Virgo, or you just may have Virgo placements. That's first. The numbers that are significant for you all are 9, 29. You have 9 twice. You have 2 twice, so 21, 11, and that makes 1 plus 1 is 2. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, significant numbers are 9, and like I said, you have that twice, so 99, 9, any variation of 9, any variation of 2s, and you have 1, 1, that makes 2 as well. So that is very significant. And with the and I forget to say what the what the numbers mean. Sorry about that. And I did not do that for the other piles, but you all can, if you're coming from a different pile, just make sure you look the numbers up, and I'll make a little note in the description box for pile 1s and pile 2 to look up what the numbers mean on their own. But so yeah, we have with 2s, this is all about balance, partnership, duality. We have 9. This is all about like the completion of things, like fulfillment, endings, enlightenment, things come to fruition. 1 is all about the beginning, so new beginnings, opportunity, power, and action. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so the first card you have coming out is the Hermit. This is find or be a mentor, take a break from society, a commitment to your spiritual growth. And that is that. Whenever the Hermit card comes out, it just makes me think of you all. So yeah, this blue moon, you all could be like very much to yourself. You may not want to be around everybody. Your social meter battery could be very depleted, or you could feel depleted by doing a lot, and so it just makes you want to kind of retreat, draw into yourself. I also think this is all about like reading, studying, wanting to gain knowledge about something, certifications as well. You could be trying to studying to get certified in something. However that resonates for you. Nonetheless, it's asking you to kind of take some time to really like study and focus on your spiritual growth. And take a break from people, take a break from anything that could be like a distraction for you, or anything that's kind of causing you to be upset, causing you disruption in your focus. Take a step back from it. Okay. Then you have your commitment is being tested. This is the first quarter moon. I feel like with your commitment is being tested, I feel like this is more so something where you could feel like you're being tested with something, not necessarily your commitment, but it's more so like you are feeling tested by anything that could be happening in your life. This could be like anything happening with a significant other, on a job, with friends, however it resonates for you. The question more so is, do I enjoy this this being tested? Is this something that I kind of need to look at more? What is the outcome that I want, as far as like, what am I trying to say? What is the kind of outcome that I need? Is it something that, is this stuff like a distraction for me? And if it is a distraction for me, then maybe I need to release it. And under this blue moon, it's all about release. It's all about letting things go that don't mean well. Okay. So then you have Broken Branch. This is number 29, and this is Heartache. So what I get a sense of is there could be a decision that you have to make, especially if it's, with a friend or with a significant other. You may be at that point where you do want to release it. You're tired of a relationship, a commitment or a relationship being tested. Like I said, I don't necessarily feel like that is for all of you. But with Heartache down here and commitment, your commitment is being tested. This could be the time to release it. Okay. Especially with Detached over here. So, yeah. And as you can see, like in this card here, the lady is releasing this dove. So, yeah. Hey, and I'm not laughing. It's just kind of like a, yeah, if you're in this emotional state here, that's kind of depicted in this card here, just kind of doom and gloom, literally, like, if something is causing you pain, strife, and struggle, release that shit. Because, like, no, why do you want to put up with that? You don't have to put up with that. No. If things can't be mended, if things can't take a turn, especially if you're in a relationship with someone, or you're in a friendship with someone, and there's like this weird energy, weird awkwardness, it either needs to be addressed or it needs to be released. Okay. All right. So this is the new card deck that I'm using. And you have number 21, and this is Lady Nada. This is about divine service, light work, higher heart. I believe that's what that says. That's how the card looks. It's cute. These cards, I love these cards. They're really cute. But yeah, I went to one of my local spiritual shops, is what I'll call it, and I found these cards, and I really love that store. So if you know where, if you are aware of where I reside, then you definitely want to check it out. Check it out here if you're in this neck of the woods, that is. But I'm not going to say where I live. But if you know, like if you follow me and you're in my area too, one of my friends, or just someone I'm acquainted with, and if you know, you know. and if not, if you don't know, I will tell you. I'll definitely tell my friends, of course. Especially if they decide to come visit me. So, and we can go there. Matter of fact, I'll take you there. How about that? Anyway, so I'm not familiar with this goddess, but her name is Lady Nada. Keywords are divine service, higher heart, light work, like I mentioned. So it says Lady Nada is a goddess and ascended master who works with many on the ascension path, or those who are actively trying to better themselves and be more loving, compassionate, and helpful, both in this world and on the higher planes. Interesting. Okay, so right off the bat though, divine service, this could tie directly into finding a mentor or being a mentor. So in that regard, you could be called to assist someone, be of service to someone in that regard. Like maybe, you know, you have something to share as far as like a message, or like your gifts or your service could help others in a certain way. And this could maybe make you feel more fulfilled and more at peace. You know what I'm saying? So if that is the case, then definitely go for it. Yeah. So it's saying she is said to have been a high priestess in Atlantis, where she taught the priests and priestesses how to work with energy healing and the energy of self-transformation. Says sometimes seen as being a higher aspect of Mary Magdalene. Lady Nada vibrates with high frequencies of light, and with the Christ light and the violet flames energies. Okay. For this card, it says the oracle is: your light is needed in the world. Love, help, comfort, inspire, and support others in whatever way you feel called to do so. Your service is seen, and you will be rewarded in wonderful ways when you show up to do your divine work. Excuse me. Yeah, and I'm just kind of looking. Okay, so I'm not going to read everything, like I said, everything else, but yeah, I think it ties beautifully with the Hermit card there. Yeah, you know, if you feel called to help someone, especially, you know, this could even help with heartache here, and even feeling like feelings of needing to detach. Maybe if you focus on, you know, being of service to someone else and helping others through their issues, whatever is ailing them. Like I said, it could help both of you. You know, you get out of those feelings of heartache, and it heals you. Like it heals something inside of you by helping others to overcome their obstacles, their you know, the unfortunate things that they may be you know, going through. Okay. But yeah, I think and I often say that I love being of service, because I do. Like I love helping people. I love assisting others and making their lives better in some way, shape, or form. So this could be the type of time that y'all are on. So, and if it is, you know, you could spend some time trying to figure out, you know, in what ways, you know, you could be of service. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, figure it out. Figure it out, the best way to be of service, and go from there. All right, so number 11, this is detach. Honestly, with detach, I feel as though, because this person looks, it's like a whole it's a major difference from this card as well as the Hermit card. This person just looks like they are over it. Okay, just look at her face. Oh my gosh. I hate to laugh, like, but I'm more so laughing, like, I don't know. I get the sense of like Daria. I loved that show growing up, and I still do. I will watch that. I will binge watch that at, you know, at any point, any second I have. If this is how you're feeling though, yeah, I feel like this kind of bored feeling, this kind of detached from reality, because I'm, you know, this some kind of maybe like disassociating in a way. Putting your focus into helping others, this could bring you out of this state, and it can make you feel better. Like it can, like I said before, like it can heal you. It can literally heal you. So, you know, maybe again, focus on that. focus more on that, and just release. I also like detach from the BS also. You know, on the other hand, this could be a message for people, for some of you, to detach from the bull crap. And when I say that, like, detach from anything trying to bring you down, trying to make you feel, you know, anything that makes you feel bad, that doesn't like make you feel your best self. Yeah, let that go. Let that go. All right. And so your affirmation is: I have self-discipline. again, that is, I have self-discipline. So yeah, there's some discipline needed. And I think with the Hermit card being out here, that, you know, is your indication to spend some time alone, spend some time to yourself, and kind of get a plan together, or at least study, do some research on your own, take a break from people. And then when you emerge, you feel better, go ahead and, you know, reach out to others and get, you know, maybe, you know, do something nice for someone else, that's helpful for someone else. Maybe you could, if you are kind of feeling that this energy to detach or heartbreak, maybe reaching out to someone else, you know, for some help that could help you too. You know, maybe, you know, you would do well with like a mentor or somebody kind of like helping you, guide you through, you know, the process. Okay, so that was your reading, pile number 3. I hope that it resonated. I know I kind of was all over the place and yapping, but nonetheless, I really do hope that it helped. You know, like the video, share the video out, leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed and do all the things. And I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.